What's up, YouTube? It's your boy again, coming back to another video on this channel. I know that we've been not posting a whole lot last month or so because things have gone busy. But anyways, we're coming back with a guest today, Ramona Lazard, who is obviously correct me if I'm wrong, Ramona, but you're a doctor in physical therapy, is focusing on chronic pain, if I'm not mistaken.
So I am a doctor of physical therapy, and I'm a fitness and chronic pain coach.
Okay.
So doctor of physical therapy, I treat a wide spectrum of different people with different diagnoses.
Mm-hmm.
So
cool. So I guess we'll start off with the first question. That is, how'd you get into becoming or wanting to become a physical therapist or a PT?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on your podcast today. I really appreciate it. Like we talked about earlier, I am a doctor of physical therapy by Dr.Ramona Lazard, and I'm a fitness and chronic pain coach. So I help senior women over the age, 55 and over to move freely and fearless while managing chronic pain. And so if you want to stay in connection with me, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. You can search me at Dr. Ramona Lazard. I definitely love to connect with you and meet you. Either it's through chat or we can even set up a time to do a virtual assessment. Yeah. So your question was basically, how did I get into physical therapy?
Yep.
That's a great question. So growing up, I love helping people, whether it was, just administrating a small Band-Aid or a minor cut, as well as someone that's suffering from injury. And then also, I went through medical programs such as the AHEC programs, and they exposed me to the medical profession, as well as doing live surgery. I got to watch live surgery. So, for me, that was it was awesome. That was cool.
That must have been gruesome to watch live surgery, just saying.
Yeah, it was neat. I thought it was very neat, and I loved it. I mean, I just love seeing the human body and looking at all those, the spine, the nerve, and the heart. And also I talked to a friend that was studying for physical therapy, and I worked as a physical therapy tech. And so that just helped me to realize that physical therapy was my career.
Okay.
And I needed to pursue.
Cool. Can I go back to finding Ramona on Facebook and all that? If you're watching this on YouTube, all the links will be in the description box down below, just to let you guys know.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. But at the end of the day, it kind of seems like you were introduced into the medical field, then later on into PT at a very young age.
Yes.
Right. All right, cool. So I guess we can kind of go off of that. Next point is like, I know we trained together at Krav Maga in Sunnyvale here in California. I know we did that for a little bit. And I know you're if I'm not mistaken, you did a lot of sports growing up too. So remember you mentioned that when we were training together. So how did you get into fitness? And number two, how did fitness direct you towards PT?
Yeah, that's a good question. And that's help with the answering. Because you mentioned sports. And so I was involved in sports through my basically elementary through high school years, playing different sports, and also outside of schools through my adolescence and adulthood years. And so I love fitness. I love, the benefit that it gives, to go exercise, you get the physical part of it and the mental benefit as well. It's just overall, just living a healthy lifestyle is just something that I want to do. And that's a goal because, it helps to decrease chronic illness, chronic illness that a lot of people have. What I exposed to as a physical therapist, like diabetes is one, and then high blood pressure is another one that a lot of people are definitely suffering. So just exercising definitely can help to minimize that. And so that's why I'm going to continue to do that and until, I can't do it anymore. So that's definitely, something I love. Right. Absolutely.
Cool. That sounds really interesting how you connected fitness into helping others into everything else.
Yeah.
And so you mentioned earlier that you focus in chronic pain. how did you get into the chronic pain side of PT instead of just being a general PT person?
Well, a lot of people. So according to the stats, if you want to look at a national level, basically, according to the National Institute of Health, more than 100 million people suffer from chronic pain. And then I'm exposed to it often, throughout my career. I've been practicing 11 years. About 95% of the patients I've treated has some type of chronic pain issues that they were dealing with, whether it be two common ones I see diagnosis is osteoarthritis and then low back pain. And so a lot of people are definitely dealing with that. And sometimes the low back pain is contribute from, some type of old surgery they might had or spinal stenosis, as well as obesity.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. But I want to play my not knowing card right now, but what's spinal stenosis?
That's a great question. Spinal stenosis is basically narrowing of your spine. So if you look at the spine, if you had an anatomy and looking at it, it's, you have the foramens on the side, and then it loses whenever you lose this height. So that's the part that's in the middle of the vertebral body. And anytime that is shifted, you'll see like the bone density decrease. And so that is just basically what it is just the narrowing of the spine. And so that can end up causing people to have compressed nerves as well with any type of movement that might, especially in extension. So that's moving backwards, basically. Yeah.
I for those of you who are not watching this on YouTube, I'm touching my chest right now in pain because that hurts me more than anything else.
Yeah.
Oh man, that hurts.
Yeah, it definitely can contribute to a lot of painful movement. A lot of people do suffer from that. So, yeah, that's why it's good that you're exercising. Definitely very beneficial for your health.
Right. How does one prevent injury or spinal stenosis and like other health complications from your point of view?
So that's a great question. One thing you have to realize, everybody is different. Each individual is different. So, for example, let's use you. Basically, your culture is definitely different than what you eat. Yeah. And then, you sound like you told me you exercise, so which is very helpful. Yeah. And, for a nutrition part, you want to definitely try to stay away from, processed food, especially fast food. A lot of people do eat fast food. And so it can definitely contribute to some of the, in the long term, some of the spinal stenosis, because eventually some people do, gain weight if they're not active. You got to think about all the pressure that is being added to your joints, to your spine and your knees and your hips. And so over time, that could contribute to spinal stenosis, any type of injury someone might have had. And also, definitely that's another thing to look at. And sometimes, people that are suffering from, unwanted surgeries that they had a long time ago and they just hadn't healed from it. So there's a lot of contribution to that.
For those of you who don't know, the last couple of seconds, Ramona is reminiscing of all this stuff I went through health-wise. So for those of you who don't know, I actually had 2 surgeries on my left knee from a accident. And I'm definitely on the over 200-pound club. So Ramona's like, oh God, this is a perfect example. This guy, so I'm just reminiscing a little bit. Sorry.
A little bit. Well, so you understand that, it definitely is beneficial for you to continue to exercise and then eating correctly. Right. Absolutely. Getting the fruits and, vegetables, because, they have so much vitamins and minerals that a lot of people don't get in their daily life, especially the seniors that I treat. They're definitely not getting all the nutrition that they're needing.
Yeah. So I don't know if you can comment to this question, but as we age, would you suggest we eat more greens, more vegetables, and all that stuff, or no?
You need to start whenever you're young, eating greens, eating fruits and vegetables, and taking your protein. Because the minute you start, it becomes a habit for you. It's not something that you are just like, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. It just becomes part of your life. You're like, oh, I enjoy eating this fruit, whether it be a strawberry, an apple, whatever that is.
Right.
For me, I get most of my fruits and vegetables. You can eat that through a smoothie because you can just blend everything together. Sometimes I'll create like some bowl, a fruit bowl or something like that. So that
Right.
helps me as well. So just try to implement small things. If you don't like fruits and vegetables, if you don't like certain things,
Right.
find something that you enjoy eating and just start there. So that, just implemented it in your breakfast. And that's helpful. If you like oatmeals, put some blueberries in there or bananas. And then you can also use peanut butter. Peanut butter has definitely some good proteins. You definitely want to try to stay away from processed food. Try to get as much pure, as natural as possible.
Right.
I definitely recommend that.
So when you say processed foods, what exactly do you mean? You mean like fast food stuff, like McDonald's? Again, nothing against McDonald's or any other company. Just like, what exactly do you mean?
To me, whenever you think about processed food, you can go on the shelf, look at a peanut butter jar, and you look at the ingredients, say like just a generic brand, and you look at it, and you probably can,
Oh
confirm
boy.
that. Basically, is you look at it, and it's more than just peanuts in there. It's added ingredients that is not wholeness. Like for me, I'll look at a jar of peanut butter and I'll look at it. If it has, for me, I'll buy organic peanut butter. And when you look at it, all that is in there is peanut butter. There's
Right.
nothing else. There's no added sugar in there or anything else to, help taste, better for the flavor for the peanut butter. So that's something is naturally, it'll strip all the benefit from the product. So
Okay.
like you can say the nutrition parts, especially the vitamins and minerals. So you definitely want to try to look for something that's just nothing but peanut butter that's in that using peanuts. That's mainly if you're going to buy almond butter using almonds. So
Right.
yeah,
Cool.
absolutely.
So I know you kind of touched on this a little bit, but there's a huge debate, at least here in the US. It's like, oh, I only eat organic or I only eat non-organic stuff. What's your take on that?
Like the debate about, I can definitely for myself testify because I've eaten food that wasn't organic. And my experience with that, it made me sick. So it made my stomach hurt, cramp, I felt bloated versus if I ate something that was organic and it was, most people get on the kick about the certified. Yes, you definitely want your product to be certified. But if you
Okay.
go and you buy from a farm or you go to the farmer's market, you talk to the farmers and ask them how they grow their stuff, because sometimes they are not able to get that certification because it can be a little bit, out of their expense for them to be able to do that.
Right.
So, you talked about to them how they grow their stuff and, find out if they use chemicals, how they grow it and, how the animals are treated. So you definitely want to know that as well. So
Okay.
I'm definitely a believer about organic products. I
Right.
definitely believe in that.
Yeah. I know there's a big debate about organic versus not organic and all the health benefits for each one and all that stuff. So kind of want to get your opinion on that.
Yeah. What do you think?
I mean, from a cost standpoint, so for those of you who don't know, I'm getting my MBA right now, so I have to talk about the business side of it. But the business side is it does cost a bit more to go organic than to not go organic. So that's definitely a factor into someone's budget, monetary eating budget. I know if you're from more of an affluent neighborhood, like for example, Palo Alto or Beverly Hills, or I guess even like some like Hicksville, New York, or something like that, where it's a little bit more, you have a little bit more money in the economy, a little bit more money that you take home, then you can afford to go into get organic strawberries or organic whatever. But if you're like in a very, I don't want to say a low income neighborhood or of an area that's making less money, then that may not be an option to get organic because you may not be able to afford it. But to answer, kind of come back to your question, I don't see a difference. I've had organic for a year plus. I've had non-organic for a year plus. So I've kind of like been on both sides of the fences. And for me, at least, I didn't see a health benefit. I could be wrong, potentially. I don't want to say I'm 100% right, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's good. I love your insight about it. I definitely understand it could be very costly to definitely buy organic. That's why I talk about the farmers market and going to farms. And also, there's community gardens people can go to and get, fruits and vegetables there. They're very open about that. You just have to find it. There's a system where to do mail-in as well. You can buy it at a very inexpensive cost. I know Misfit is one. They have organic produce, and it's definitely, I've tried it and I loved it. So the product is good. I definitely still am a believer that organic food, it definitely makes a difference, from buying processed food because of what my experience and what I know from all the research I've read, and then also just implemented it in my life.
Cool. So here's my next question. If I'm trying to figure out how to say this without being a total a-hole, but if let's just say you come from a very low income neighborhood, doesn't matter where, and you're not making that much money, how would you set yourself up for success nutritional wise?
Yes, that would basically, if you're on a fixed income, so fixed, saying that if you're a single person, right?
Right.
And so what would your budget be?
Let's just say a couple $100 for now.
That's pretty good. I shop at a well-known store, and I spend about that much, and it's mainly it's organic. I look for sales, and also throughout finding that, I'll go to like I said, farmers market, and then you can also look at, like I said, the labels and see what it takes some time in being in the grocery store, but you read what they're using, okay? Because there are some good products that are not labeled organic, that doesn't use preservative, that doesn't use sugar, that are gluten-free. You just look at and see what they use in the back of the ingredients and see if you like what you're reading.
Right.
As a term and the saying, some people say, if the list is too long, don't buy it.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So here's my next question. Is like, let's just say you're in a situation where you have to either pick paying rent or getting organic food. Kind of like that situation. I'm trying to try to be PC about this, but I asked that question. But how would you structure something like that?
If I had to choose between paying rent and buying organic food.
Yeah,
that's like not even a good comparison, because you go from because the you're looking at.
I'm just trying to figure out how to say that question without being
food to eat.
Yeah,
you definitely want to pay your rent. That's something you want to pay first. You don't want something that you don't want to have a place to cook your food. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you definitely want to do that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out a good way to say that, and I couldn't come up with one, so I said what I said.
I understand what you're trying to say, but you definitely want to pay for your rent. Absolutely. So you can have a place to stay and you can cook the food once you buy it. I understand you live in California. I did live in California for a little bit, and I found stores that, I could buy food, that was, in my budgets, and even some of the food that is not organic is expensive. People go to fast food place and they're buying these value meals that are $7, $8. So, you can go to the store and buy some milk, and, also you can buy some ingredients to cook a meal. So like ground meats and pasta and then some sauce, and then you have a meal for like extended days. You can freeze the meals and put them in, those meal plates that they have. So yeah,
Right.
absolutely. Meal prep.
Cool. Thanks for answering that question that I tried to put down as best as I could.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess I go back to you and PT. If you had to advise somebody who is thinking about going to become a physical therapist, what would you do? Or what advice would you give?
To advise somebody, first off, if someone is presuming to become a physical therapist, a doctor, a lawyer, a police officer, firefighter, you got to know why you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
That is very important. You need to know why you're going to pursue that career.
Right.
And, some mentors in the past have told me to, your why has to be strong enough that you don't quit.
Right.
So I think that's very important. And then doing the research about the career or even a business, setting goals,
right,
in a plan, creating tiny habits, also getting a mentor. That you need someone to hold you accountable. So if you're pursuing to become a physical therapist, it doesn't have to be anyone that is been practicing for 20 years or something like that. It could be someone right out of school 1 year, and someone 5 years or even 10 years. So just to get their perspective and what you need to be doing, because the educational system is different from clinician that has been practicing for 10 years versus someone that's right out of school, been practicing for a year. Yeah.
Cool. I'm going to change up the question a little bit now. If someone's going to go into chronic, like a PT with the concentration of chronic pain like you have, what advice would you give?
Basically, I gave that. So if you want to specialize into something, you definitely want to, we are, as physical therapists, has to continue education. And so every 2 years, we have to get at least 30 units of continuing education. That's something you definitely have to do. And you can also specialize by taking courses for chronic pain, look at different programs that it offered. And so, yeah, you can definitely work on that. So that would be very helpful for you.
Cool. I guess my second to last question is, looking back on your career so far as a physical therapist, are you happy that you became a physical therapist, or do you kind of wish you went a different route?
Yeah, this is what I meant to be doing. This is my passion. I love helping people. As a physical therapist, just seeing someone that had pneumonia and not able to sit up on the side of the bed, and then for me to be able to facilitate that, for them to be able to sit on the side of the bed, to even move their legs, something that we take for granted each day. Somebody that has a stroke, they're not able to move their limbs, not able to walk. So I'm so grateful for that experience, and I will continue to do that for a very long time, because it just brings joy to me, and to be a motivator for that individual. That goes as being a coach, and it's to guide them and lead them the way. It's something that I love.
Cool. That's incredible. I'm sorry, but yeah, it's a very awesome way to look at the world. It seems like it really humbled you in a sense to go from, oh, I can do XYZ, and like, oh shit, I can do this, but this person can't do this. So like, let me help, kind of thing. That's cool. I guess my only last question is, where can people find you?
If they can find me, if you go to Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and then YouTube at DrRamona Lazard.
Right.
Find me there. My website is in progress. It's DrRamonaLazard.com. Right. So that is coming soon. So those are the places you can find me. So Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Definitely would love to connect with you guys.
Very cool. As mentioned before, if you're watching this on YouTube, everything will be in the description box down below, so you can search for it. Other than that, that's about it. Thank you for being on the show. As mentioned before, you can find Ramona in the places that she mentioned, as well as in the description box. And don't forget to follow us here on Rhino and the Bad Podcast on Instagram, Facebook. You follow me on YouTube at Firehawk Archer 1 and 2. Yes, that's my own personal YouTube channels, as well as Firehawk Archer 1 on Instagram. See all of my funny weirdness on Instagram. You can also follow me on Firehawk Archer 1 on Facebook as well. But other than that, have a good one. Thanks again for being on the show, Ramona. But as always, have a good one. See you in the next episode. Peace.